I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding.
And little did Diddy know that would make him a lifelong enemy.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me, type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important to also let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
So the documentary about Diddy is dropping tomorrow or today by the time you're hearing this, because I'm not dropping this on the first when I'm making it. And that interview clip, and it's a longer version of that clip on like Good Morning America, but that clip has a lot of people stirred up. So somebody on my channel said, yo, I feel like you should do a reaction on how the culture lets 50 Cent get away with a lot of corny stuff, especially this new docuseries on Puff. In my mind, I was like, I'm not really interested. I know it could probably make for a good video, but no. But then I got on Threads. And I have seen 50 getting some backlash, but this right here, after I seen that first comment and I seen this, I was like, okay, there's something there. There's something there. And it's not about Diddy. This tweet says, or whatever you want to call it, thread says, 50 Cent is a horrible human being. That's it. That's the post. And it got a lot of likes. And literally 15 minutes ago, I put up this community post, right? Asking when you realize 50 was a piece of crap. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Like, he said, the guy said how the culture lets him get away with all of this stuff. We'll get into that at the end. I'm going to go over a few moments where I realized, okay, 50 is not really that good of a person. Like, we like the music, but what is something that people say all the time? 50 shows us every day why he got shot 9 times. This is a sentiment that a lot of people say. It's not something I've ever said, but it's something that people say all over social media anytime he does any of his antics. So we're just going to go through some history, but I have to get to the foundation. First, what you have to remember is that 50 Cent was a street dude, right? And 50 Cent was a wild street dude. He was not a regular street dude. From what I know, he was wild and feared to some degree. If you go and you search around the internet for people who have stories about him in the streets, like Tony Yayo, there was somebody else they used to roll with who was a wild dude. And he talked about the story when he met 50 on a bike and all types of, like, 50 was a wild dude. And the reason he got into beef with Preem is because everybody feared Preem, but he didn't.
And it's on my dead father, nigga. I put it on my man dead, Fat Shaw, anybody. Preem came to the block. That might have been the day Nas, Black Just brought Nas up here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've been around real niggas. You know what I'm saying? E-Money Bags, I've seen nigga. E-Money Bags, you look at him skinny, nigga. Killer.
Preem came to the block.
Preem came to the block. 50 up there. Preem, dude, you know the old school shit. You know what 50 did? Yeah, my nigga.
Do it back, yeah.
Yeah, my nigga.
That's,
you know what the block did?
Yeah, that's what
That's when I knew 50 didn't give a fuck. And that's when I knew Preem didn't like 50.
Now, what you got to understand is that 50 was getting money, but Preem was supposed to run, like, I don't know if it was just Queens or if it was like multiple boroughs, but yeah, he was one of the biggest drug dealers in New York at the time. A lot of people feared him, and 50 just clearly didn't have an ounce of fear in his body and, matched the ego of Preem, and Preem didn't like that. So they go on to say after 50 got shot 9 times, he was running around the streets in a car, dolo, with a Mac 10, looking for Preem and stuff like that. And you never know if it's possible that he whacked somebody or not. His name isn't connected to anything publicly, but when it comes to the streets, especially when we talking about like the 90s and crack and you never know. You never know. So 50 is not a normal person. Like when it comes to the streets, he is really one of them ones.
Music shit, I wasn't with that rapping shit.
That nigga crazy.
Like I was slinging crack and dope for real. You know what I mean? When 50 stopped slinging, the block became mine. Like,
Okay, so
I don't
50
even,
had the block on lock for a minute?
Yeah, yeah, that shit on the man. The whole hood was pumping for 50.
Oh, for
the
real?
whole motherfucking hood. I don't go fuck. You sling crack and 9495, you was pumping for 50.
Wow.
Yeah, he had the whole block pumping. Like, after 50 did what he did, like, 50 ain't back down. 50 was banging out in the shit. I know 50 was whooping them niggas' ass, because 50 is a big boxing ass motherfucker. So I know he was tearing some. And these it was like 8'11" of these niggas, know what I mean? Chris Gotti left his Nikes in there size 11. I'll tell you about that. He ran out without his sneakers size 11. But them niggas ain't do nothing crazy. They talking about, yeah, we turned the lights off and all that shit. These niggas backed in the light.
Now we got to talk about the other end of the foundation, which would be Ja Rule, the foundation where everybody knows him from as far as his first beef.
Oh, those Stepford for a long time ago, like a close friend of 50 robbed Ja. Then Ja seen 50 with him. So 50, you know, he rapping now at the time, so he tried to tell Ja what up. So Ja was looking at him, 50 had his hand out. So 50 pulled his hand back and was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, that's how that happened in the club. So ever since then, 50 seen him again in Atlanta. And that's when they had a fight. 50 punched him in the eye and took his chain. Yeah.
So we're not about to go in depth on that, but I need you to understand that all of this stemmed from, well, I'm not going to say all of it, but most of it stemmed from Ja Rule not shaking his hand. Now, you got the other end like, oh, yeah, this is Preem's artist. If you go and listen to, I think it's the 50th Law and all this, people always say, yo, he was responsible for him getting shot 9 times, so I would hold that grudge. Ja literally has absolutely nothing to do with that. Nothing. Nothing. If you go and you even 50 talking about the shit himself, like Ja literally has nothing to do with that. So that's not why the grudge is being held. Like, that's just a social narrative that people are holding because it sounds good. It's logical to people that somebody would hold a grudge for 20 years if somebody got them shot or if they were closely associated. No. Over the years, we have seen 50 hold grudges with people who haven't done anything anywhere near as egregious as 9 shots. So that brings us to one of his next beefs, because he had a bunch of beefs before this, but this is one of the most prominent beefs that 50 has had. Him and Rick Ross. Guess why the Rick Ross beef started? For the same reason this nigga had a beef with Ja Rule, because 50 didn't acknowledge Rick Ross' greeting.
Ross and 50, right? Ross is not, they got a beef because 50 didn't say what up to him. That's just a New York thing.
Right.
At one of the awards. I wasn't there, but that's how it sparred.
Right.
Nigga ain't say what's up to me. Because down south, y'all have more of a,
Yeah, hey, how you doing?
nigga
Good day,
bring
sir.
you an
Have a great
apple
day.
pie to your crib. Nigga from New York is looking.
In the summer of 2008, where tensions between 50 Cent and Rick Ross would begin. In June, at the BET Awards, 50 Cent and Rick Ross would both attend. According to Rick Ross, he would end up running into 50. He claims that 50 gave him a dirty look, and that's where the friction would begin.
Now listen, I want to go back to Ja Rule before we get to this, right? We're going to address what we just heard in a moment, but 50 Cent in like 2022, 23, somewhere in that ballpark, it was rumored that he bought the whole like front row of Ja Rule's concert, the whole floor, just so there wouldn't be anybody in the floor seats at the Ja Rule concert. Ja Rule said the rumor is false, but 50 ran with it. And you have to think about this. Like, what really happened between these guys? This cat, Ja Rule, shot 50. He might have looked at 50 funny. He looked him up and down, didn't shake his hand when he reached out because he was next to a dude that robbed him, right? Then they fought twice or whatever the case is, and those are 20-year-old fights. And dude is still doing shit against this man, like still fucking with him 20 years later, 25 years later, for real. So just keep that in mind. We'll come back to that in a moment. But this beef started off of, from Ross's account, a dirty look. From 50's account, as far as what Tony Yayo said, the beef started strictly because 50 didn't say what up to Rick Ross. So that's the two accounts, right? This leads to, and 50 already hit him with, like, you know, some subliminals during the camera on this. He says something along like, you know, I'm a boss, but I'm not chubby like Ricky Ross. You know, which is not crazy, but if Ross is sensitive about his weight, that's one thing. But for him to say his name, right, in a rap, when he never met the dude, and then, like, you get over here, and you can't even say what's up to him. Oh, it's like, oh, he's a fuck nigga. Yeah, so the beef starts. Now, 50 goes overboard with it. For whatever reason, and this starts off of just a look. He jumps out of the window with it. Not only does he post Rick Ross' baby mom getting smashed, like he posts a sex video, some revenge porn type shit, right? He got sued for that. But I remember watching that at a young age, like, yo, this is insane. This cat baby mom getting cracked. He put this, oh man, this cat is beefing different. But then outside of just putting his baby mama, he went and he took the other baby mom shopping, and she might have even been with the kids. So it's like this nigga took the beef to levels rap beef has never seen at that point. Rap beef had never seen somebody on camera taking another rapper's baby mom shopping, and then, like, oh man, it was just all bad. It was just all bad. So for Rick Ross, I would understand why he would never get over that. He could never, like, bro, you really tried to not just ruin my career as far as exposing me as a correctional officer, but you went extra steps that you never went with Ja Rule. You never did this with any other opponent that you had. You posting pornos now? That's insane. You're posting pornos of my baby mom. That is one of, like, when we talk about 50 being a piece of shit, that's one of the first things where I was like, damn, this nigga's really an asshole. Now, I want you to remember before we continue how many people 50 beef with in this time frame. If you had any association or affiliation with Ja Rule, which Rick Ross didn't, then 50 was going to beef with you. Around that time frame, 50 had a beef with Fat Joe, and Fat Joe really wanted to hurt this man, right? Fat Joe really wanted to, and the Terror Squad is real gangsters, bro. Go and watch DJ Who Kid's story about getting kidnapped by Terror Squad. Go and watch that. The rapper Papoose rapped with 50. Man, Joe had this nigga whooped on. He had this nigga jump. The craziest dynamic of that, right, is that Remy Ma was this nigga's baby mom, or his girl, whatever you want to call it. And Remy Ma is a part of Terror Squad, so it's really bad triangle going on there. I don't know how they ever got over that, because Papoose wanted the fair one. He was campaigning for a fair one with Joe. And if you know, this nigga knocked out Easy the Block Captain, who was messing with Remy Ma. And I understand, most of y'all probably not going to be that deep into the culture know what that is, but we'll just keep it moving. But Rick Ross had an association with Fat Joe, so people speculate, that could be why 50 shot him the dirty look and all that. But the reason I bring up Fat Joe, Jada Kiss, and Nas is because those were the people who were dissed on Piggy Bank for standing next to Ja Rule. He has squashed all of that beef and forgiven them, and they are all cool. 50 and fucking Fat Joe are best friends now. They go and sit courtside and all that, right? So he could get over those beefs. Those are all New York beefs. The Rick Ross shit ain't got nothing to do with none of that. And this nigga is on. They never slow down on each other, bro. They are always on each other's bumper, him and Ross. But there's an aspect of that beef that lets me know, oh yeah, this is another moment where I knew 50 Cent was a very bad individual. You know DJ Khaled. You know DJ Khaled is harmless. You know DJ Khaled just be doing his compilations. You know DJ Khaled is fake. T-Pain said fuck that nigga recently because he'll call everybody his brother and, once motherfuckers stop being hot, he disposes of them or just cuts them off, just like he did Ace Hood. Ace Hood had a lot to say. So he's a phony guy, right? But he's harmless. The reason I mention that is because 50, during the beef with Ross, this cat is a DJ on the radio holding this nigga down, man. This nigga, I think he posted or sent DJ Khaled a picture of his mom's house as a threat. And DJ Khaled said, yo, I don't want no parts of none of this. Now, you could say that's some gangster shit. You could say, oh, yeah, this shit almost got violent and some street shit. You could say all of that shit. But this is the deal, bro. That nigga is a civilian. That nigga is a DJ. Y'all are entertainers. And this isn't the guy saying it. He didn't say nothing crazy about 50 or nothing like that. Just because he affiliated with Ross, he probably even said some little rah-rah shit. I'm not about to look into it, but for him to go that far with that type of threat to somebody like DJ Khaled, who has never had no beef with nobody except Tyler, the Creator, like, that is crazy. But now we got to get to a moment where I was like, okay, he's really a piece of shit for real. Young Buck took a picture with the game while him and 50 were beefing because, for whatever reason, he got booked at a venue that the game was at. And I'm not about to get into the whole story, but that's pretty much what happened. He ended up taking a pic when he shouldn't have. And this I want you to remember just this, because this is just a recurring theme when it comes to 50. But him doing that led to him calling 50 to apologize vulnerably and crying and all of that stuff. And at some point, I can't remember the details. I don't know if he dropped him from G-Unit and Young Buck was running around talking spicy or whatever the case was. That's what one of the comments said, but he dropped the phone call. He recorded the phone call when it was happening, and then he dropped the phone call.
I done got out of line a little bit with you, so I swear to God, I'm wrong.
Hey, these bogus ass niggas try to copyright me for putting that conversation in there, so I had to cut it short. But you can find the original one. Just type in Young Buck crying on YouTube. It's 18 years old at this point. Like, we all men here, man. Especially when we talking about, like, gangsters and shit like that. Like, you don't want to be caught crying. You don't want to be seen crying. Like, you know how that is, bro. We all know how that is. To some degree, I keep it real. We not unpacking this today, but to some degree, it's emasculating. And that's how come dudes don't cry in front of people and stuff like that, People will look at you different, all types of stuff, right? This was a one-on-one phone call, and this man blasted it out to the whole world. And mind you, this didn't happen because Young Buck shook dude's hand and went to the booth and did 10 songs with him and they became best friends and now they talking on the phone every day as far as him in the game. Like, this happened because he was booked at the same venue. They crews are beefing. Tension is there. It can go left to where niggas start fighting each other. It could go neutral to where they don't talk, but that's not going to happen because the game is a confrontational dude. Or it can go, we just going to maintain peace. And that's what happened. He took a picture with him. You want to know the ironic thing about this? In '05, after all types of beefing over the funny shit, like this cat, 50 linked up at a press conference with the game and took these pictures where he was cool, but the game was tight. The game, and they were allegedly squashing their beef and putting their differences aside. This says New York, March 9th, 2005. Rappers 50 Cent and The Game make an appearance at the Shrimp Center for Research in Black Culture to announce they will put their differences aside to make amends. So the nigga 50 took a picture with The Game, and he's mad about his artist taking a picture with The Game. It's crazy. Now, this is one thing that when I went to look for these pictures, I realized and found out. What happened was Young Buck dropped a diss towards G Unit. And I guess this is years after he got dropped or whatever. And in response, 50 dropped the phone call. Now, Young Buck has went on to say he felt betrayed by that, and that's understandable because that is far worse than any diss record. Oh my goodness, that is fucking some embarrassing shit to the like down to the core of your soul. Like, that shit is embarrassing. You know, you can't erase that. It's on the internet forever. You cried to 50. Now with this one, you might think, yo, at that point, being that he dissed him, it's warrant, it's justified, right? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But that's something to where you can't really come back from that either. You can't come back. It's just like the raw shit with the, you know, baby mom getting fucked and then you taking the other baby mom shopping. Like, you can't come back from that. You can't come back from that.
He is a deadbeat because it's not about monetary. He is a deadbeat.
You heard this in the middle of the night?
Yes, I did.
Talk about the custody of the house. He didn't want you to have that.
No,
house.
and we was in the Supreme Court. I did my deposition yesterday.
And
yesterday.
Did he trash
yesterday.
the attorney's office?
No, he trashed it on Monday, but I did my deposition yesterday, and they saw the evidence that I had. We had an express oral agreement, and I have proof that he said that, and this is what happened. He knew I was going to get that house.
Put his kids in danger? So
he doesn't care. Anyone who tries to take a roof over their child's head, do they care about putting them in danger? When you know you drive around a bulletproof van all day, every night, wouldn't you want your son to be somewhere safe?
You think he would try to kill his own kid?
Yes, I think he would. He's obsessed. If he can't have me, he'd be like, no one can. He's obsessed.
So
he's very upset.
Fighting over the house right
Yes, we were in court. We're in litigation. We're fighting over the house.
Just
yes.
say again, what did he tell you?
He said that he was going to have someone come kill me and watch what he does, and this is what he did.
So he threatened you?
Yes, and he has made no contact to even see how his son is doing. No contact.
You heard something in the middle of the night? How frightened are you?
I'm very upset.
So let me break this down real quick and real brief. So boom. Allegedly, 50 told his baby mom that he was going to buy the mansion in Long Island and put it in her name. He bought it himself. He put it in his name. So it wasn't hers. She was upset about that. So she took him to court for that to try and get the house. She failed. But during the legal proceedings, you know, she alleged that he had threatened her and the house got burned down. 50 was cleared of any suspicion by the police. But I want to note that his son and, you know, his baby mom and other people were in the house. I think it was other kids as well when the house began to set on fire. They never got a suspect. They never got a conviction, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I did this the first time and I downplayed it, but I really thought about it later and I thought, yo, if he was actually responsible for that, this is by far the worst thing he has done in the whole video. So I can't downplay it. You gotta actually say, yo, if he actually did this shit, He is a very despicable, evil motherfucker. Now, that is a big if because there's no proof that he did it. Which brings me to my next necessary point before we continue, which is his baby mom and him have quite a beef. They have not liked each other. They have had all types of quarrels. The whole incident, as far as the video and what I just explained, that was back in '08, and in '09, they pretty much just gave up the investigation. It's still probably even open. But 50 has been very vocal over the years about this woman hating his guts. And it's typical baby mama drama, baby daddy drama, all that stuff, like, just co-parenting quarrels. So to give you an example, as far as something he said in a video, he said that his baby mom was already getting $500,000 from him per year. $500,000. She wanted more. He was like, really, you want more? What he did, he went and put himself on child support, and she got significantly less. With her getting significantly less, he felt like that was teaching her a lesson, but that just made her disdain grow. And he also, I think in that same interview, let the world know that, yeah, because the son is over 18, yeah, she spent all that money up that she was getting. She's broke. She's flat broke. So they have a very bad relationship. His first baby mom, him and his first baby mom's relationship is horrible. Which brings me to my next point. He is beefing with his son publicly, and it's been a long beef. It's been a long beef, and 50 Cent is under the suspicion that his baby mom has brainwashed his son, Marquise Jackson, into hating him over the years. So they have a very horrible relationship, and you'll see as we unpack some things. But personally, I think beefing with your son publicly is very tacky. If you look at Brian McKnight, which he's not a great person to name, but when he had his stuff going on with his family, he would just post his new family and he would just talk about how he wrote off his old family, and he wouldn't do the back and forth. And when his son was dying, which this is really unfortunate, he didn't have any responses or any dialogue about his son dying, no back and forth, nothing. He just didn't respond. Now, I'm not saying anything is good about what Brian McKnight did in that situation or that Brian McKnight is in the right for any reason. I'm not saying any of that. That's a whole nother situation to unpack another day, which I probably never will on this channel. But the one thing I do respect, unlike 50, is that he didn't turn it into a shit show where they're having huge back and forth or he's fucking trolling his son. Very weird shit from 50. And guess what his son does amidst this beef? The man who had him shot 9 times, Supreme, he has a son. 50's son goes and takes a picture with Supreme's son. And 50 posts, if both these little niggas get hit by a bus, I wouldn't have a bad day. That is how 50 feels about his son. And this is what, the fucking second or third time, like 50, all these things where 50 is having these beefs is over petty shit like handshakes, looks, and pictures. Handshakes, looks, and pictures. Speaking of pictures, this is all it take. Big Meech took a picture with Rick Ross. And when it comes to 50, that is just a picture by itself. Just the most pettiest, smallest shit. He is not willing to talk anything out. He is willing to end a whole TV series. He is willing to throw away a fucking relationship he has built for 20 years. He is it is just over a fucking picture. Over a fucking, he's talk. He knew Meech before Meech went in jail. He has ran into Meech before he went into jail. They have talked. They have spoken. They might not have been close, but they seen each other. Because Big Meech seen all the fucking rappers. This motherfucker gets into jail. 50 builds the relationship. 50 sends his son to acting school and grooms him into being this actor so he can act as his dad in this TV show when he comes of age. And he finally gets it. They finally get to making the show. The kid is loyal as fuck. Lil Meech ain't do nothing. Big Meech, who has been in jail for 50 years, right? Rick Ross has a mega hit. They call me Big Meech, huh? Larry Hoover, like, that's one of his biggest hits. That's actually the hit that saved his career when 50 was kicking his fucking back end. I don't want to say it's kicking his back end because Teflon Don did good regardless, you know, as far as what 50's tactics was. Like, Ross musically didn't feel it. Like, it didn't dent him music. Like, even with the CO shit, niggas are still fucking with his music. But this is the deal. If you look at this cashier to say Rick Ross car show, this motherfucker probably got booked to go there. He probably got paid to go there. Who knows? Who knows? But he took a picture with Rick Ross, and Rick Ross made a mega hit about him. So, you know, 50 couldn't. He just couldn't let that slide. He couldn't let that go. He couldn't have a conversation. He seen that, and it was over. So Lil Meech calls 50, or he texts 50, pleading, right? Pleading to forgive his dad. Let's read this real quick. And 50 posted it. That's how come we're looking at it right here. So Lil Meech says, they just told me you unfollowed me off of Instagram, and now you manage a Skilla baby with Rocket when I brought him around you first when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you? I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you. This is not Big Meech. This is Lil Meech, the son, who hasn't done anything. Let's continue. Fuck Ross. He said that. But he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. Wow. This internet shit is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. So what does that signify? It signifies 50 didn't pick up the phone, didn't call nobody, just went straight to unfollowing, straight to posting memes, threw the whole relationship out the window, over some pictures, he didn't know this motherfucker got a bag. Like I assumed it, so he likely assumed it as well. But 50 Cent says, what next season, little nigga, and posts this shit publicly online. He posts this publicly online. You thought y'all was friends. You thought y'all was really family. To where 50 knew you since you was like 13 or some shit like that. And you've been fucking with him the whole time. Like he said, he been nothing but loyal. But his dad make one fuck up, just one little fuck up, which is not even major because niggas is not really in the streets. This is all entertainment shit at this point. And his dad is broke for whatever reason. And he just throws this kid under the bus when it's not something that he did, it's something that his dad did. He not even willing to have a conversation, respond back, pick up the phone. This moment right here is definitely a tremendous piece of shit moment from Curtis Jackson. Now, one of the last ain't shit moments that we're going to touch on is him celebrating Irv Gotti's death. Moments after Irv Gotti died, 50 posted himself smoking hookah and said, I'm smoking on that Irv Gotti pack or that Gotti pack. Nah, God bless him, LOL. I swear I seen another picture that wasn't this, but yeah, can't find it, and I'm not about to dig through his page. We're going to read some comments. It says, it's amazing how people have so much to say, like they've been through every inch of walk of life, and people swear they know what they be talking. That fucking comment is just fucking stupid. That comment is like, you get no value from that comment, and I'm mad that I fucking read it. We gonna keep moving. Can't be mad at 50 for this one, and that is the sentiment that most of these people have. Love this man. The bitch said, love this man. Don't even have to know him. Real recognize real. 50 is so funny and real. That's what one of these women said. Another person said, nah, you different. 50 in his own lane of icons. This is another comment that we gotta go over because this shit is absolutely ludicrous to me when people do this shit. He said, he got hit 9 times. Y'all want him to cry. Motherfuckers is saying, shut up, LMAO, niggas forgot the story or something. Once a op, always a op type shit. That's not Irv Gotti. That was Preem in them. This had nothing to do with Irv. So I'm not going to put the dude's reply on the screen. But what he said was, who was he associated with? That's what he said. He said, who was he associated with? Do you remember the Ja Rule beef and how I mentioned that it started and how they ended up fighting and all that stuff? Like, it was over a handshake. It was over a nigga looking him up and down because he was with a nigga that robbed it. Like, it had nothing to do with Preem as far as the Ja Rule aspect of that beef. You can go and listen to 50's book or whatever, how he tries to tie it in and all this stuff, because the association is Preem funded Murder Inc. He funded Murder Inc. He was not in the booth. He was not a rapper. He was not fucking going city to city with these niggas all the time. He was not the A&R. Murder Inc. was a business. It was a drug dealer funded business, just like a car wash or a barbershop would be, which those are extremely common drug dealer businesses. If you didn't know, like, those are like the top 2. You might throw a restaurant in there or some shit like that. Maybe a salon. I don't fucking know. But I know barbershops and car washes is universal for drug dealers all around America. But that's what it is. It's a business. When it come to the actual hit that was put, like, the nigga that did the hit wasn't a rapper. Irv Gotti didn't fucking send them niggas out there. Irv Gotti is not a gangster. The nigga in the comments said, oh man, Irv was with Preem and them laughing when they got the page that 50 got shot. Where the fuck did you hear that? I'm a hip hop fan. I don't watch all the beef DVDs. Where did you hear that? What Irv is guilty of is trying to blackball 50 from the game. That's what Irv is guilty of. Irv has nothing to do with the shooting. Saying that, oh man, you know, because he associate with him. Like, that's some gangster shit, right? What gangsters do would be like, oh, I got beef with this nigga, and this nigga's associated with this nigga, so, you know, shit, I can't get to this nigga, so I kill this nigga. They do shit like that. It gets real retarded in the streets, right? But guess what they don't do? They don't say, oh man, I got beef with this fucking crack dealing nigga. Oh man, I can't get to him, man. All the barbers in his shop, nigga, they the ops. Every barber in his barbershop every nigga that's waxing cars at his car wash is a op. That doesn't happen. That doesn't fucking happen. That's retarded. Niggas, oh man, these niggas, Irv is a fucking A&R. Irv has worked for multiple record labels. Irv has never shot shit. This nigga had a beef with Ja Rule over a fucking look. Ja Rule gave him that look because the nigga that he was standing next to robbed him. So, like, when we do all this history, like, niggas, oh man, nah, because them niggas shot him 9 times. Man, them niggas are record label, industry, rap niggas. The Supreme team is gangsters. They have nothing to do with the rap. You don't hear nigga, oh man, like, yeah, man, we told Ja Rule to, you know, start double stacking his vocals. You ain't never heard Preem say no shit like that. But because Preem funded the rappers and because 50 decided to you got to understand that. We got to slow down. And you got to understand, if you go and read the 50 books, watch the show, watch whatever the fuck you listen to this nigga, 50 decided to have a problem with Ja Rule. There was not a problem before he decided to make a problem. Do you understand? Do you understand that? But I'm not about to keep harping on that. It's just to me, that's a foolish take. That's a niggas never say, man, he got the Mac 10 and he was running around looking for Ja Rule. No, he was looking for Preem. He was looking for Preem. He was probably looking for Supreme Team because he knows that's who this hit was sent by. That's who sent the hit. Now, when we read this last set of comments, fellow hip hop stars made comments. So Bobby Shmurda commented, yo, this is crazy, son. This thing is crazy, son. 600 Breezy said, the quote that I said earlier, every day he show us why they shot him 9 times. Ha, 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 ha. So let's take 15 steps back. The comment said, yo, I feel like you should do a reaction on how the culture lets 50 Cent get away with a lot of the corny stuff, especially this new docuseries on Puff. You know why they let him get away with it for 2 reasons. I'll say 3, actually. Number 1, they don't think there's actually a problem. In most of these situations, they don't think there's actually a problem because, number 2, they feel he's justified in what he's doing. In these situations, every situation that I name, watch when the video goes up. There's going to be some, I didn't see nothing wrong during this whole video. That's what some niggas are going to say. I didn't see, he didn't do the whole video. You didn't say he did nothing wrong. Everybody deserved what they got. So that's number 2. They feel that he is justified, right? A lot of these people making these comments and stuff, that they hold grudges in a similar fashion to 50. You got to think about niggas for a second before I get to number 3. You got to think niggas was getting killed over stepping on shoes and Jordans and shit like that. You got a lot of niggas who are willing to get violent over petty stuff, man. If you were in the hood, like, you know, this is a funny thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to get to number 3 and I'm going to come back to this. But number 3 is, these niggas are entertained. They are entertained by this, right? So I'm going to go back to the first point that I was making, and I'm going to make it very simple and very brief. The way when you are around niggas, especially in the hood, there's such thing as fighting words. If you're talking about even millennial white people and just throughout America, yeah, there's such thing as fighting words. When you get to Gen Z, I've seen videos where motherfuckers be trolling people and, you know, antagonizing people, and then you'll have some weird accounts with either no profile picture or anime or some white dude come in your mentions. If you say you would have beat the motherfucker's ass who was antagonizing the person in the video, they'll come in your mentions and say stuff like, oh, you're such a weak man for, you know, wanting to punch somebody over words. Oh, you're a fragile little ego. They'll do that gay shit, right? And they do that because they come from areas that are very safe. They come from areas where they've never really had to deal with violence. You would get expelled for the whole year for punching somebody in the face. You know, they don't come from violent areas. They've never been around this type of shit. They soft. So they live in a different reality to where they think they should be able to say anything to anybody and get away with it. That's where their head is at. You'll even see them do that when somebody is saying something about beating somebody up over saying the N-word. You know, they'll try and say, oh, you got blacks are so fragile. They'll try and do that shit, right? Even though white people was out here just trying to get people fired over making Charlie Kirk jokes. We're the fragile ones, right? Making whole lists and websites and registries for people making Charlie fucking Kirk jokes like crazy. But to keep it simple, amongst older individuals, amongst most black people, amongst most people with edge, You know, there is such thing as fighting words. If you say suck my dick to a New Yorker that's over 40, you know, even sometimes 35-ish, you know, they talk like that shit is something worth killing over. And there are people who have killed over it. But if you talk about the younger generation, they'll say that shit and just throw it around and it don't mean nothing. That cats still be alive. But you get the point. Amongst certain people, there are fighting words, and if you in the hood or you around black people, like, you can't just say whatever you want and think there won't be consequences, especially when we talk about antagonizing somebody. So when we get past that, I must say there are some niggas. I gotta say niggas, because that's what I'm used to dealing with. That's the environment. There are some niggas that are hypersensitive, bro. And they be looking for a fight. They will fight you over the smallest shit. They will start a problem over the smallest shit. You look at a motherfucker too long. Motherfucker, what is you looking at, motherfucker? Like, that's one example. You accidentally step on a nigga's shoes. Oh, motherfucker, you the scuff. That's another example. You know the Boondocks nigga moment shit. You could be talking about something like Dragon Ball Z or Jordan versus Kobe versus LeBron. And it's a friendly discussion. But y'all start yelling for whatever reason. And y'all not calling each other no names, no insults. But one nigga will decide to take the shit the wrong way because they don't know how to manage their emotions. And they'll be like, yo, nigga, who the fuck is you yelling at, nigga? They'll start to try and personalize the shit and then get mad at you and want to hurt you over fucking raising your voice during a Kobe versus Jordan argument, right? I say all that to say, when we talking about niggas, there are a lot of hypersensitive people, and there are a lot of people who justify the hypersensitivity when it comes to people being violent over the pettiest things. So when you look at 50 and all of his beefs that we mentioned, starting over the pettiest shit, that resonates with a lot of niggas. So when you ask, why does he get away with all of this petty shit, all of this sucker shit, all of this corny shit, people feel he's justified, even though the reasons for him doing it are very petty. And now I'm just going to speak briefly on niggas being entertained by ignorance. 50 is a rapper. 50 made some of the most ignorant but dope songs that we love to listen to. That's just what it is. 50 made gangster music. So when you look at his fan base, like, we already accept him for being somebody that may have shot at niggas, sold crack, then did a lot of gangster shit. Like, we love that about him. So when he damn near stops rapping completely, and just turns into an internet troll, niggas are here for it. And if it's funny, if it's a music, like, niggas don't care about these people that he is making fun of. Like the nigga said, smoking that Irv Gotti pack, nigga, a bitch said, I love this. Dog. You motherfuckers is entertained. That's all I can say.
Crip and Bloods, you niggas ain't shit. Your mama ain't shit and your kids ain't shit. Matter of fact, Blueface, fuck your dead homies. I piss on Nipsey up the rolling 60, neighborhood Crip Nip, fuck neighborhood Nip. His daughter turned into a little slutty little bitch out there. See, they go tap into her little pussy too. Nip little daughter. Them 60s niggas gonna fuck her too. Cuz they fuck everybody. So what do you niggas represent Hoovers for? What do Hoovers do besides fuck other boys in prison?
The reason I put this in here is because this man has no talent. He has no entertainment level achievements. He hasn't done anything transformative in his community. All that fake activism shit niggas be talking, that nigga has not made an impact. They still doing crazy shit down there. He even talks shit about the gangbangers that used to be in his program and stuff, but turned to gangbanging. Like, he's beef with them. So it's like, this man is nothing. But Say Cheese found a way, yo, we could turn you into something because you're willing to be wildly ignorant for no reason. And that's what they did. They put this cat in front of a camera and he said so many ignorant things over the years, so many wild, crazy things. He's willing to say anything. And guess what? The reason he is famous is because niggas are not only reactive. It's not that niggas are appalled or anything. No. Niggas love Charleston White. They love the ignorance. They love the ignorance. So when you talk about entertained by ignorance, he's the best example as far as what's going on right now. So before we spin back to the Diddy 50 beef, we got to talk about Diddy very briefly. You know, what Diddy did was crazy. Diddy beat the case. You know, Cassie did get beat, et cetera, et cetera. But the reason he beat the case is because this was a witch hunt. Some of the speculation is that when Diddy did that lawsuit, along with Jay-Z, towards the liquor companies, not together, but they did them separate liquor companies. The liquor company pretty much did this whole shit, right? That's the conspiracy theory. That they set all of this shit in motion to pretty much take him down, et cetera, et cetera. And there was nothing there as far as crime is concerned, just prostitution. They tried to make it seem like it was the worst thing, like he was human trafficking, like he was drugging people up against their will and just had them like, you know, somebody died and all that. All of that was bullshit. All of that was bullshit. All that came out is that he pays escorts. That's the only crime. He pays escorts for sex out of state. He will move them from state to state. And this is the thing. We can't act like they're victims because they're going around doing interviews and they don't make themselves sound like victims. You know who they actually have a bigger problem with? They have a bigger problem with Cassie than Diddy. They just think Diddy, the escorts who are running around talking and doing art of dialogue and all these, they think Diddy is a fucking weirdo. That's the only thing that's really wrong with him, that he's a fucking sexual deviant. They are talking about Cassie like she is a fucking manipulative beast. Like she is doing all, like, bruh, she is the worst. But this is the thing. Fuck the case. Outside of the case, Diddy is a very flawed individual. Diddy is not a fucking clean slate motherfucker, right? Diddy had fucking, I think, what's the dude's name, man? It's not Lighty, man. One of them A&R niggas, man. He had the nigga beat up over the Nas Hate Me Now video. I think it was Steve Stout. I'm not about to fact check. It could have been, it may not be. Do your own fucking fact checking. But he had somebody beat up, for sure, by bodyguards and all types of shit. Because when Nas did the Hate Me Now video, right? When Nas did Hate Me Now, he was running around with the crucifix or the cross, right? With the Jesus thorns and everything. Diddy did not want that in the video. It made it in the video. Diddy didn't get his way, so Diddy went and had somebody beat up. So that's one thing, right? Has nothing to do with Cassie or this case. You also have the rumors and stuff like that he had bounties on death row chains. That's another thing that has nothing to do with this case. There's some fuck shit, right? I'll give you just one more. And this is the craziest fuck shit. When Sean shot up the club, right? And he was doing this in defense of Diddy, allegedly, whatever the case was, right? It comes out, I'm talking about like recently, like it didn't even come out like during that time frame. But it came out that Diddy's lawyers threw this nigga under the bus in Diddy's case. Diddy had a separate case. So Sean didn't just have to deal with, the prosecution in his case and all the witnesses talking about him in his case, but Diddy's lawyers also made it harder for Sean, throwing him under the bus and implicating him in their case unnecessarily. That's supposed to be your man's unnecessarily. And there was something going on. I can't remember what it was, man. He didn't pay for his lawyer, whatever the case was, man. It would, if you go and you do your research, man, there's some fuck shit around him and that Shine case, you know, outside of what I just mentioned, right? But that's really snakish. And with Diddy, it just doesn't stop. There are things that were not in that case that are crazy. So when we get down to this, we have to really identify that even though we spend all this time talking about 50, Diddy is actually kind of worse than 50. Because 50 might do all this petty beefing and shit. And 50 might have been in the streets. If we just cut off 50 Cent, because 50 could have did worse shit in the streets, right? If we cut off 50 Cent's street career and just go off his rap career, Diddy is actually very worse. Let me not say probably. No, Diddy is exploited artist, all types of shit, bro. More shit than I can mention. Diddy could get his own video. But guess what? They got 50 million fucking Diddy documentaries before this one, right? The downfall of Diddy, TMZ 2-parted that bitch. At least 2-3-parted that bitch. The freak-offs. Crazy.
What was the original annoyance between, it was just like,
well, when you start to get the momentum, he's like, yo, we gotta hang out. Yo, when we gonna, you know.
So you felt like he was trying to dim your light early in your career?
It wasn't that. It was really just, I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, yo, I'll take you shopping. Like, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It was weird because not only do I not go shopping like that, but it's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you, and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards, or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree.
I ain't never made a call to Diddy, really? I got Diddy's number, just hit him up. Yo, Diddy, what up? Never happened.
I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of dude, you take me down. Did what a guy says to a girl.
It truly is about the Benjamin, as we see. Oh yeah, literally. It truly is about the Benjamin. Well, now when we come back, we're gonna talk more with Puffy, and if you want to hang out, more than welcome to stick around, my brother. All right, we'll be right back.
Because P. Diddy be wanting the body, and you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
Like that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me, type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
That's a lie. Before we get to the personal, let's talk the business that isn't personal. When 50 Cent had Mace, which everybody forgets about that, Diddy was making it hard for 50 to do the buyout of Mace's contract. So that prevented Mace from being officially on G-Unit, if my memory serves me correct. But I did read that the buyout was unreasonable. So from a business standpoint, that's some type of friction that he's had with him before. You also know about the whole, oh yeah, because he just mentioned it twice, you know, I want to take you shopping, daddy. That shit right there. But the third thing, and this is the most important, when he says it's not personal, we found out that not only was Diddy messing with 50's second baby mom, or whatever baby mom she is, one of his more recent baby moms, right? We found out that he was messing with his recent baby mom. These rumors began in 2022. But once Diddy started getting into legal trouble, two things happened. Number one, people speculated that, you know, Jane, because they did a Jane Doe in the case. One of them was MIA or Mia or whatever. And academics expose that. But as far as the other one, the other Jane Doe, they tried to say that it was Daphne Joy, 50's baby mom. That's speculation, not confirmed. But there was also accusations in one of the other lawsuits that, Daphne was messing with this cat. And that she was a part of freak offs, et cetera, et cetera. So, there being a connection there, yeah. Yeah, that definitely makes it more personal, even though, he's been holding this grudge for like 15 years minimum before 2022. So let's revisit the two messages that kicked this off one more time. So why do they keep letting him get away with the corny stuff, especially this docuseries? Well, the first thing that we have to realize is that one of the things that I mentioned is people think 50 is justified in the things that he does, and they are entertained by what he does. So that is why when you look at the Diddy situation, people don't have much to say, because you also have to throw in the fact that Diddy is a piece of shit. Like, he's objected. Diddy might not be guilty of sex trafficking, but Diddy is a piece of shit. And I must say this, man. When it comes to 50 and Diddy, they have done some good for black people, for the community and stuff like that. It's not all negative. But when it comes to Diddy, there are extreme negatives. And when it comes to 50, there are petty negatives. And sometimes, it might be petty to us, but like the little Meech shit, like that's extreme to Meech. The Young Buck shit, that is extreme to Young Buck. But the general public doesn't give a fuck. And Diddy is still a villain. In the majority of women's eyes, he's still a villain. Period, point blank. So don't expect any women to shoot him any bail. When it comes to the men who are similar to me, who say, yo, he beat the case. Y'all was trying to say he was a human trafficker, that he was drugging chicks up, and all of that shit is false. He beat the Fed case. The only thing they got him on is prostitution. We not about to make him look like a sex trafficker over prostitution when all participants were willing. So motherfuckers ain't really gonna look at Diddy that bad. It's just that Diddy is a freaky motherfucker. And then you have to look at all the stuff we accept from a lot of people. You have to look at a lot of the stuff that, like, as a culture, niggas love the Gucci Mane kill the guy that went to kill him. That is what has Gucci's career stamped before the music even was musicking. When I was working at a pizza shop, the niggas in the back, they look, yo, the little niggas, yo, he the realest rapper. Man, he killed a nigga. He caught a body. I go and Google it. Oh, he really caught a body. That type of stuff is the stuff niggas value. Niggas is like, oh man, King Von, he was one of the biggest kids. The fucking trap Laura Ross always doing a documentary about some rappers that's killing other rappers and killing dudes in the street, and motherfuckers love these rappers because they killing people. So if you really just think about that, why would motherfuckers really think that Diddy is a bad guy? Why would they hold on to all of the shit that Diddy has done outside of this case, as far as the other stuff that I mentioned, like the death row change? Niggas don't care. Shit, that make Diddy look like more of a boss and harder than niggas. He blew up Kid Cudi car, great. That's how niggas really feel. Because when King Von is clapping, niggas like, oh man, Chirac Demon, oh man, that's cool. So cool. Oh, they smoking on da-da-da-da-da. Oh, that's cool. But then when motherfucking, Quando Rondo, the less popular rapper, when Lil Tim clapped a motherfucker who's just, this big demon that's been killing everybody, he kills King Von. Now everybody hate Lil Tim because Lil Tim is not as popular, not as famous, da-da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. So these are the people that we're dealing with. And you want to talk about the culture? That's the culture. That's the culture. That's what the culture accepts. So when we talk about Diddy, it's like, bruh, the D, like, he gave us hits. He gave us go and get us some cheesecake. He gave niggas moments in hip hop. So niggas is not gonna throw him away over him blowing up Kid Cudi's car, and all the sex shit is just like, he's just a freaky ass nigga. And it didn't come out that he's fucking gay during this case. It didn't come out. If it was gonna come out, it would have came out. I will say this, if you understand from all the clips how petty 50 is, then you understand why he's so opportunistic when it comes to, you know, building this documentary up about Puff. There's nobody else that he is beef with that is as big as Puff. Like, Puff is the biggest. You know, he's had little quarrels with Jay-Z, but Jay-Z has no smut on his name, and he doesn't hate Jay-Z as much as he hates Puff. So this is just him being opportunistic, and he's being disingenuous about it not being personal. This clearly shows that he has a deep hatred for Diddy, because it's not coming from a righteous place. It's coming from a vindictive place. In this last one more time, 50 Cent is a horrible human being. That's it. That's the post. I've given you enough evidence. You be the judge from this point, man. Let me know your thoughts. I am gone.